Hello from Slide Nerd and hello from Weaves. What's up folks? This is the first of our videos on object-oriented Java, and in this video I'm going to talk about what are methods in Java in detail. Now you guys are beginners, I know that very well, so what are the things that you should know about before we get talking about the object-oriented and complex stuff? Let us go and take a look at what you need to know first. Alright, so you need to know data types, which is your int, long, short, right? And then you have your operators, which can be plus, minus, multiply stuff, conditional statements, if else, while, loops, that is your while, for, do while, and last but not the least, at least one arrays. Now this is all you need to know before we start talking about the complex stuff like object-oriented programming, classes, and other stuff. Alright. So first, let me go to NetBeans, show you a simple program that does four things: add, subtract, multiply, and divide two numbers. And let's try to find out why that program sucks. Alright, so here you have just two numbers, a and b. I'm simply adding up, finding the sum by saying a plus b, difference a minus b, multiply a into b, dividing a divided by b, and printing all of them out. Now let's not worry about typecasting and other related stuff here in division. For now, let's keep things simple, right? So here, this is adding two numbers. Now what if I also wanted to add three numbers? Now what would I do? I would simply copy paste this normally, right? Go down here, make another variable calling sum2 or sum3, and then I'll probably take another number, say int c equals to 15, and then I'll say int sum3 equals to a plus b plus c, right? And here again I have to modify the println by saying a plus b plus c. This is what you guys would normally do at this point, right? But think about this. I want to add five numbers. What are you going to do? Again, paste this another time, modify it. Is that what you're going to do? No. That every time things change a bit and you have to go ahead, copy paste, and you have to modify. That gets really tiring. So let's actually see how you can do this. So the code we wrote just now is just like this big boss you have, who has everything, who takes care of everything. That is your main function. The main method in Java is like the big boss. All the code is written at one place, and it gets too hectic, right? You can't modify stuff, you have to add new stuff, you have to modify existing things, and so on. So what can you do? Well, one of the best ways you can do is what bosses do all the time: hire an assistant, make things simpler, right? An assistant can do this work for you, and that is what methods are in Java. They're assistants that you call, and they do your work, and then you get the result. So let's actually see how that works. So this time, you're being a little smart. The boss is like, oh, here's the thing. Hey assistant, you're gonna add these numbers for me. Number A is 25, B is 7, sum equals a plus b, print it out. This assistant needs to be given a name. The boss calls this guy add. And notice these two brackets you see over here, the one above and the one below. These two brackets tell exactly how big the assistant is. And this, as you guys can see, is just 3 lines long, and that you can make with the help of these brackets out. And also, the name of the assistant is kind of weird, you know. You can give it any name, but you need to put these two brackets near the name. Like for example, you have add over here, and then it's one opening and closing bracket right here. And then there is this word called void. Now don't worry about what this word void means right now. For now, let's just take things the way they are. Here's your boss. Now look how smartly your boss is getting the work done. The boss simply says add and puts a semicolon here. So now what happens? Well, as soon as you say add over here, assistant is called and said, hey, do this addition for me, alright? So the assistant is gonna be like, okay, A is 25, B is 7, sum is a plus b, alright, I'll print it out and I'm done. And that's what happens when you call assistants. Methods in Java work like assistants. So let's go one more step and try to figure out a little more modifications to this and try to understand what are the different things you can do with this. Now think about this. Last time, the assistant we just made here in the previous slide, you simply added 25 and 7, right? So that means the boss is gonna call add the assistant another time. The assistant is gonna again add the same number, 25 and 7. Again the boss says, hey, add two numbers. The assistant is gonna again add only the two numbers, that is 25 and 7. Isn't that kind of dumb? I mean, it would be better if the boss could tell, hey dude, add these two numbers for me, and then the assistant could go ahead and add those numbers, right? And that is what we are gonna see in the next slide. So here, this time the boss is a little smarter. The assistant is a little smarter. The boss is a little cunning this time. The boss says add 3, 5. Notice how those two numbers are there inside the brackets. What happens is you have the assistant who looks like this now. This time, remember last time when I showed you guys, the add had an empty bracket near it, the name, and I told you that the name of the assistant has an empty bracket. Right now this time here there's int a and int b written inside. Now what does that mean? Very simple. You have 3 and 5 over here. As soon as the boss says add 3 comma 5, 3 goes right inside your integer a, 5 goes right inside your integer b, and then what happens is, here's the magic. You say void add int a int b, sum equals a plus b. Now that means a is 3, b is 5, and 3 plus 5 is 8, and this time the assistant prints 8. Pretty simple, right? The assistant is a bit smarter this time. He takes the values from the boss and then adds them up. So here you have put two numbers, and that is why you have said two integers over here. When you say 3, it should match with this integer a. When you say 5, it should match with this integer b. That means the number of values the boss gives over here on the left side should be equal to the number of variables you have defined here on the right side. Now again, we are going to discuss this in great detail in the next video, but for now this is just to give you guys a rough introduction of what is going on about methods, what happens. Now as you guys can see, if the boss would have said add 7 comma 10, a would have got 7, b would have got 10 inside your assistant, and sum would be 17. Pretty simple, right? The assistant is capable of adding anything now. Now this is again good, but think about this. In real life, the assistant always comes back and reports to the boss saying that, sir, I did this and this is what I got, and here maybe you should take a look at this, right? That's how things work, right? Assistants report to their boss, and we would also like that. That would be the smartest type of assistant that we can have, who not only does the work for us but also gives us back a report saying that, hey, this is what happened with the project that you assigned me. So let's go and see how that works in Java. So this time the boss is going to do the same thing, saying add 3 comma 5. The assistant is going to look the same way, int a int b, right? 3 goes here inside a, 5 goes here inside b. The assistant calculates the addition of 3 and 5 here by saying sum equals to a plus b, and then look at this statement over here. It says return sum. What does that mean? This means this assistant is going to calculate 8. This 8 is going to be thrown back to the boss. Take a look over there. The 8 goes right back to the boss, and here you can simply use a variable which says int total equals to add 3 comma 5, and that is going to be 8. That is the result which the assistant calculated. So remember, at this statement over here where I have said int total equals to add 3 comma 5, it's actually int total equals to 8. Pretty simple, right? Because this add 3 comma 5 is gonna go here, run all the stuff inside, calculate the addition 8, give back the value, and here we will have the value simply. That's how reporting works. Now this is the basic idea behind methods here. You want assistants who want to do your work. And now notice another thing. I have written int add int a int b. Now why the hell did I write int over here and I was writing void over there, right? So if you see here, when your assistant does some kind of work and he wants to return something back, or you can say report something back, you also want to tell the compiler what type of data he is going to report, because that is what the compiler pays attention to. So here you're adding sum equals to a plus b, and you want to return sum. What is the type of sum? The type of sum is an integer over here, right? And that is why I have written int over here. Now remember, when the assistant is not reporting back, at that time you write void over there. Now you can go back to the previous part of the slide where I had that assistant who was not reporting anything back, and I have written a void over there. So here you have simply stated there are three types of assistants. Ones who do the same thing again and again, they don't take any values from the boss. Second, the ones who can take some values from the boss and do something with it, but they don't report anything back. And third, the guys who actually do what the boss wants and also report back to him. So these are the three types of methods you can have in Java. Now that I have shown you guys the creative side of methods, in the next video I'm gonna jump inside the syntax of methods and talk about them in a formal way, like what are formal parameters, what is this, what is that, and blah blah blah. So if you guys like what you saw, please subscribe to my channel, comment, let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next vid. Have a nice day.